radio, the golden of radio, or those days of television, or those days between the decline of the big bands and rock and roll. Anyway, I've sort of said it. And I hope I'm not stepping on anybody's lines.
I have fond memories of age 5 or 6, sitting around the radio with my uncles and aunts, and listening to Jack Benny on the radio. And of course, he was the star of a movie that I've been very into writing about, namely the movie To Be or Not to Be.
Oh,
And so I have a deep connection to Jack Benny.
4 o'clock on Sundays.
Yeah, we
It
used
was
to
4 o'clock.
listening
4 o'clock
to
on Sundays.
radio.
Yeah.
It was, what was it, the Mystery Hour, or there was some radio show that we would just sit on the floor, my brother and I, and listen to with eagerness and imagination. I don't remember the name of it. It was a radio show.
well, was it all Sunday afternoon? All Sunday afternoons that The Shadow was on and Nick Carter, Master Detective.
Yeah.
Sunday afternoons. How do I get this thing meeting is recorded? There's a big white rectangle that I can't get rid of.
It's a meeting. It's being recorded, so forget about it.
Well, when will it go away? The big white rectangle.
I don't
When you click got it, it'll go away.
If I click account owner, or do I click continue?
Continue.
Okay, I've been trying that, but it's so slow, and I'm so uncoordinated.
I remember probably 1952, I think I had the mumps or something like that, and I was home and started listening to the radio and got addicted to the soaps. And then,
yeah.
And then in the summer when we had time to, I didn't have to be at school, I decided to go back to the soaps and started listening to them again. And then all of a sudden, here we are, the Republican National Convention in 1952 nominated Eisenhower. And I still remember, and that addicted me to being interested in politics ever since.
I listened to those conventions
Toronto
too.
and the Lone Ranger. I still can hear that music.
Oh, yeah.
Dun, dun, dun,
Yep.
I get the Lone Ranger on my TV now.
Really?
Yeah, it comes in on one of the channels.
Yeah.
Is it a video?
Well,
No, it's the original program that they're running. I get Leave It to Beaver and Father Knows Best, and some of the a particular channel plays a lot of those old ones.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Free TV does, Prime Video, and you can find them on YouTube.
I also remember listening to the Sunday Funnies being read on the radio.
Oh, we didn't get that.
Yes, that too. And going to sleep with Bobby Bragan, the Hollywood All-Stars, or Mark Scott was the announcer on the Hollywood All-Stars.
Well, that I don't remember.
There's a commercial that's playing now with Dream with the Everly's Brothers on TV, and it makes my heart pound a pat because I remember slow dancing to that song at a mamselle's Y dance. And it's so romantic. Do you know what I mean? Dream, I can make you that dream.
Oh, of course. When I remember Al Jarvis on the radio would play all those things.
Weren't Jan and Dean in our class? If I would
Jan,
yeah.
He was my Cub coach.
Yeah.
They lived in our neighborhood in Benedict Canyon.
Yeah.
So did
he was
Buddy
in a very bad car accident, wasn't he? Was that what did it to him?
Yeah, that was on my birthday, April 13th. I had a draft board hearing that day, and I think he may have had a draft board hearing that day. And we both got, well, basically, eventually got bad news from them. But at least I was denied a chance to serve my country. And Jan was very upset and drove his car into a tree and suffered neurological damage.
On that same day? Or as a result of it?
That day, yeah.
Oh my God.
I was staying, I think I was visiting from, maybe from Berkeley, I can't remember, but I I was staying with Joel Klein and his family, and the news came in. And Joel was a good friend of Jan, so they were both medical students or on their way into medical school. I can't remember what year that was, but anyway.
Wow.
Yeah, I used to see him after that accident. He couldn't walk too well.
Hmm.
He lived near you, didn't he, Henry?
Not to my knowledge.
No,
Oh.
Dean lived near me in Benedict Canyon,
Hmm.
as I say, along with Buddy Ebsen and maybe Catherine Hepburn.
Trudy Epson.
The few canyons over from me.
Oh, where did you grow up, Henry?
No, I'm talking about where I am now.
Oh, right.
I grew up on Tiger Tail Road.
I remember that house.
Yeah.
Were you hit by the fire?
Burned down every house on the mountain except mine and the one next door.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Wow.
But I was not so lucky this time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Dave Rich, they didn't get that fire, didn't get Dave Rich. He was on Skyway. I don't know if it went down that low.
No, I
That
don't
was
think it didn't go down that. Well, did not go down that low.
Yeah.
Jackie, since you have to leave soon, tell us your popular culture references, please.
I'm not sure what to say.
What did you love growing up?
Oh, well, I was excited when we got television because I was the last kid on the block to have a TV. I would go over to Ginny Soyset's house and watch television, and they had two TVs, and I thought they were rich. And we barely had one. And anyway, I enjoyed some of the programs on then. I remember My Little Margie and Meet Millie and I Married Joan and Jack Benny and a lot of the programs.
Disney, what was the program for kids on Sunday called? Disney Hour? Disney.
Oh, Disneyland was on at night. Yeah.
Disneyland, yeah.
Was it called Disneyland?
No,
Yeah.
it was Wonderful World of Disney.
Disney. Yeah, wonderful.
Remember-
Years.
yeah.
Was it Mickey Mouse Club already?
Yeah.
The Colgate Comedy Hour and the one where they sang "See the USA" in your Chevrolet and
Dinosaur.
Oh, good for you.
yeah.
Your show of shows.
That was my favorite TV program
That was
altogether
great.
Yeah.
in those years.
Caesar and Imogen Coca.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Yeah.
Loretta Young show, I remember that, and yeah, a lot of them.
Was
So-
that the era of Sonny and Cher, and she'd always
No,
play
that
the
was much
straight
later.
woman and never smile and
Yeah.
look
Much
gorgeous?
later.
That was much later.
Oh,
And when I had my own kids, then they watched Mickey Mouse Club and Sheriff John's Lunch Brigade and Howdy Doody Time and
it's howdy doody time.
We had Howdy
Exactly.
Doody.
Da-da-da.
Howdy Doody was around for us, I think. But Space Patrol. I remember that.
I watched that.
That
And the
was,
Jackie
Oh,
Gleason
yeah.
show.
yeah.
Jackie, do
Patrol
you have
6:15 or something.
grandkids?
do I have what?
Grandchildren?
I have 5 grandchildren and 2 greats.
Wow. And are they
I don't know this lady's name. I'm sorry. I didn't. Did you call her Aki?
Jackie,
Jackie.
It was Weiss and it's Solkowski.
Jackie Weiss?
Yeah.
Okay, I do remember. Okay, you've been at other meetings. I do remember you.
Yeah. John has an
Um,
incredible memory.
Who has a good memory?
John.
I
Oh.
do. For
Hang
things
on, my
like that,
dog wants to go out.
not for things I'd have to study for.
Really?
No, I
visual-
can't I can't tell my memory what to do.
Oh. But your kids, it's a visual memory, is that right?
No, it's like a calendar. It's just there. I can just land. I can land anywhere. You know, I can April 1956. I can probably land there.
Anyway, my grandkids are in Spokane, Washington, and my other ones are moving to Texas.
Why?
So they're not, nobody's really close by.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
It's fun to be part of their lives.
So
Um,
anyway,
Do you have memories of Westwood? I think about Westwood Village a lot now.
I remember that too. Was it Bullocks, Westwood, and my first two kids were born at UCLA.
They just shut down the two movie theaters in Westwood.
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
You don't mean the Village and the Bruin?
Yes, the Village and the Bruiner did.
Oh my
why?
gosh.
What happened?
Was it COVID?
No, well, theaters
No,
can't do well, and there's
No,
I'm-
was just-
theaters.
I'm
No,
gonna
just-
say goodbye now, Gay.
Thank you, Jackie, for hopping
Bye,
on.
Jackie.
Bye, Jackie.
Bye-bye.
You're going to deliver food to.
Food boxes on the reservation.
Good for you.
Nice, very nice.
How can
Bye-bye.
they close those? I'm sorry, but how can they close those theaters? How can they not? Is the Village not doing well
It's
in
terrible.
terms of
Village is
what,
terrible.
really?
Yeah.
In terms of money and
I had a store there for 40 years. I was a merchant in Westwood for 40
Oh,
years.
the camera
and-
store.
Yeah, the camera store. And
Yeah.
the landlords have a lot of empty spaces. I don't know if they're trying to rent it or not. But it's Westwood Boulevard is virtually empty.
What about
Unbelievable.
all the UCLA students? I mean, isn't that a
Well, Westwood was never popular for UCLA students except at night. And then the residents tried to quash everything in Westwood. So UCLA students went elsewhere.
Wow.
wasn't it kind of the town for Bel Air though? Westwood and
Yeah.
for
Well, but then South, I mean, there's been such development in Los Angeles now. There's development along Westwood Boulevard south of Wilshire. Wilshire Boulevard is now all high rises.
Yeah.
I don't know if you haven't been here in 30 or 40 years, you'd be amazed at what happened here.
I
And
didn't
that-
get it. I was out there in 2018, 19, but I
Okay,
guess I whizzed through. Some
Yeah.
people drove through the Village so fast, but
Yeah.
I mean, the Westwood, the Village Theater.
Well,
being-
I know,
You would have noticed all the high-rise activity.
That is so sad. Yeah.
I can't. Oh my God Almighty!
yeah.
I mean, there's no point to going back there now. I was thinking of doing paintings of Westwood Village the way it used to look.
Well,
Wow.
there are paintings and there's photography, there's photographs of old Westwood.
I'll have to use them.
Yeah,
But that blows my mind.
yeah.
I'm
It's-
really, that surprises.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's you know, I just saw the whole thing going down and it's just I called it. There were 5 elements that really screwed up Westwood. One was the landlords who were asking too much rent and not trying to work with merchants. Then there was the homeowners association, which was anti everything.
But
know-
somebody's got an open mic there with some noise in the background.
And then
Is it like an air conditioner, Henry?
now it's a
No.
feedback.
Oh,
It's voices.
It's feedback from me.
It's gremlins and the wires.
Yeah,
Except we're
Oh.
wireless. Except we're wireless though.
yeah.
They seem to have gone away.
So anyhow, Westwood just there's a whole number of factors that ruined Westwood, and it's and with COVID, the office buildings aren't as populated either anymore. So
you mean like the first one was the Kirkby building and then the Lindy building. That was the
Yeah.
change.
yeah.
What about that big museum that's on the corner of Wilshire and Westwood where Truman's restaurant used to be.
The
Hammer.
Hammer Museum,
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
created by Armand Hammer. Yeah.
people need a place to eat lunch if they go there. I mean,
well, they put in a nice restaurant there. There's some nice restaurants there.
Carol and I were in LA a couple of years ago. We went to exhibits at the Hammer Museum.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Leonard Nimoy bought the Crest Theater, or not Leonard Nimoy, but it's now the Leonard Nimoy Theater, and it's UCLA. And UCLA is also, I think they're trying to work something out with UCLA for the Village or Bruin Theater.
oh my God.
Yeah.
One of the village theaters was purchased by a group who plans to preserve it and I guess operate it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where the funding is, but I think there's people involved with the movie industry.
Linda, what are your pop culture remembrances? I think you're muted.
That Linda Sobel?
Yeah.
God, next
Linda
year
Sobel.
next year you're going to be telling me they closed the Westward Ho, but that's not possible.
They sold it.
They closed the Westwood.
They closed.
But now it's a Sprouts.
Linda,
Linda is still muted.
I
I'm gonna,
know. Linda, unmute.
I'm gonna make you co-host, see if that does anything.
Push your space bar if you, sometimes that works too.
It's gee. So what are they? You mean all those stores like going from from Santa Monica Boulevard, Ohio, up to Wilshire? Those they're the stores are not.
No, they're the stores. The stores from Wilshire Boulevard north toward UCLA. Those are all.
Oh, okay. The village itself.
Yeah, the Village. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
I was very
Century City had a big impact upon the village also.
Century City did.
Linda, write something in the chat. Because we can't hear you, but you can hear us.
Shake your head if you can hear us.
She's going to write in the chat. Bill, what about your pop cultural?
I'm with you on the Lone Ranger, Jack Benny. I remember making a transistor radio with a headset so I could listen to the Hollywood. Was it the Hollywood All Stars?
Yeah.
The baseball team that played was it Gilmore Field next
Gilmore
to
Field. Yeah.
Farmers Market.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I used to fall asleep listening to that. Ed Sullivan.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you know it.
The shoe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was always an argument in my house because they started showing old MGM movies at 8 o'clock on Sunday night on Channel 11. So there was always an argument about whether I always wanted to see whatever, if it was Camille with Greta Garbo would be on or something. My parents always wanted to see Ed Sullivan. It was it was a real row. I won a lot. I'd bring a book and do you realize the importance of this movie? You're gonna, I won a lot.
Good. Danny, what about you? Unmute.
And what I remember from early childhood, then I remember Cecil and Beanie.
Yes, Time for Beanie.
Time
Yeah.
for Beanie.
Yeah.
And Buster Brown. And that Froggy the Gremlin. What
Oh
else?
yeah.
Gee, that's all I can remember. But I remember playing with Joel when we were real young,
Yes.
and we liked chimpanzees. What was Bonzo? Li- Some, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So anyway, I'm really sorry to hear about the Bruin and the Village closing too. It's sort of those were two landmarks.
That was the beginning of my movie going, and I've been in movies
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
yeah.
all of us.
Yeah, they
Oh,
were the
yeah.
first movie theaters I
For a
could
kid,
go to.
it cost 10 cents to get into a movie there.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
and they
then,
had two features.
yes, two
Yeah.
Yep.
features.
Double,
And then
double feature.
before that, news and then cartoons
Yeah.
too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Linda says, I go back to Benny and Cecil and Dishonest John. Those don't ring a bell with me.
DJ, Dishonest John. He was on Thunderbolt the Wonder Cove.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and Linda,
And
you
Time
what
for
you may
Being.
want to try and do is sign off and then sign back on. Just to reboot it, see if that works.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that might help.
Sheriff John was alive a few years ago. I looked him up, and there was an interview with him in an old age home, but he was in his 90s. I can't remember if this was like 5 years ago or.
Engineer Bill.
I remember Engineer Bill Stolla very well.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Later, I wondered if you could play Red Light, Green Light with whiskey.
With bourbon.
But yeah, make mine a Jack Daniels on the rocks.
Yeah. There was another show. Space Patrol.
I was scared of DJ.
But well, not to get racy, but I remember when we were really young at a party, spin the bottle.
6th grade. I remember that
In the bottom. Yeah.
in the closet.
And then you'd kiss whoever it was pointed to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
It was
But
at
you
your
know-
house, Danny.
My no.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh
In a
God.
closet.
Oh.
Yeah. Barbara Biggs asked me to dance with a girl. asked me to
But
dance
it's
for Flashlight.
interesting. I kind of remember that the girls were much more advanced than the boys, going through adolescence and everything.
Always the case.
It's
Yeah.
always the case. Yeah, it seems.
Not me. I was retarded.
I was retarded.
You were gorgeous. You were gorgeous, Kay.
We were just talking about this, Jenny and I, that the worst thing, the most advanced thing we could think of in high school was, oh, do you think she French kisses? And at one of the Mamselle reunions much later, someone got up and went bing, bing, bing with their knife on a glass and said, I have an announcement to make. I did it in high school, but in our days, that was shocking. We did not do it in high school. Only the cheap girls did. And we were the good girls.
Whereas all the boys used to talk about how they were Don Juans.
Really?
Right.
Some of them.
They had dried up rubbers in their wallet.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
That I think the Parisians were known to be more sophisticated than the Mamselles. And then I was a tried out at Berkeley, and we were pretty good girly too.
They were the wild ones.
Gail, did you get? Oh, yeah. Linda says bye for now. Did you get my messages about your book? I didn't see you posting on Amazon, Linda. But Linda, do what Bill said and go out and come back. So just do end meeting and then click back in. While Linda's doing that, Bill, do you have an answer to my question posed at the beginning? Why do Trump's followers love his insults when they're not even clever? and they're just mean. And
Well, I don't know that I have a good answer, but the Democrats have called him so many names. I guess he feels like it, and many of his followers feels like it's a fair retribution. But you know, half of his stuff is entertainment, and if you're entertaining people, you do things that the audience likes. But at least he has policies that are published and on a website where his opposition hasn't even bothered to do a press interview in 40 days since she was announced as the presidential candidate for the Democratic Party. So, right.
they publish lots of policy about the economy and making house buying affordable and taxing the very wealthy, and they published a lot of policies.
There's nothing on your website.
Well, they've talked about it in every rally, but really,
But it's
why is
but
it
it's
funny? Why is it they smile and laugh? They think it's great. Kamala's pronounced wrong is stupid. Coach Walls wasn't a coach. It's like second grade humor, but they think it's funny. I don't get it. Are they uneducated,
I think the
distressed?
people that go to his rallies are there for the entertainment.
Yeah, but I get that. But why is it because Bad Boy is entertaining and he's being really rude and childish, and then it's funny because he's being a bad boy, a naughty boy, and he's saying, my advisor said I shouldn't do this. Should I fire them? But maybe I don't get the bad boy appeal. I guess it's funny that a grown man is a bad boy.
Well, yeah, I also don't understand the phenomenon of nastiness and meanness, and you know, but wait, I have to interrupt myself and say that I don't think it's unfair if to make Bill a, you know,
a representative for Trump.
a defender, you know what I mean, to put him in the role or position of having to defend. Well, I don't know. I mean,
That's fair. Look, I don't think it's that appropriate for him to do that, but I think you have to look at the other side and how many, you know, he's been called Hitler, he's been called all these names by his Democratic opponents. So,
And by his VP.
pardon?
And by his VP.
By his VP.
oh yes,
Vance.
before of J.D. Vance went over.
Oh yeah, okay, that's history.
Yeah, it's history.
You know, I mean, so he has a little fun with it. I mean, what's the big deal? You know, it's I don't think it's very relevant. I think you got to focus on politics.
Yeah.
I just got done with Biden being about a mile away from me for the past.
Yeah. Welcome
So
to
when he finished his speech at midnight on Monday, he got on the plane, flew to the Santa Barbara airport with his family. They convoyed over the mountain pass at 3 o'clock in the morning. He's staying on an 8,000-acre ranch that belongs to a billionaire by the name of Joe Kiani, who's a big Biden supporter. They shut down our airport where I keep my airplane in a 10-mile radius. If you fly into it, there are F-16 circling 24 hours a day. And so that they can stay up as long as possible, they have tankers to fly around with them and refueling them.
Wow.
You know, so he took off from Vandenberg Air Force Base, which is about 30 miles from here. That required 3 Osprey airplanes by the Marines and 2 Blackhawks, probably 75, 80 police to escort 30 cars. I mean, it was just an astounding display of governmental, in many senses.
You're lucky that you only have it once. We living in Westwood and I guess Henry and Brentwood, we see it all the time with
Yeah.
because this is the money pit for both parties, and whoever's president, they come here often, and the streets are basically all closed.
Yeah, no, it is horrible. I've been involved with
Yeah.
that both from flying and being on the ground. But in a small community of 20,000 people, the impact of the president is rather noticeable.
Well,
Especially when they're
here
here
too
for
with
a
a
full
bigger
week.
community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that's standard procedure, Bill, with all that armament wherever he
Yes.
goes?
Oh yeah, they have counter snipers. Yeah, anywhere the president goes. So the Coast Guard took over our conference room at the airports because they have two fast-moving helicopters to interdict people who would penetrate the 10-mile no-fly zone. They got Secret Service agents, and there's a party of 200 plus people that travel with the president, and all have to be, yeah.
What do they
Even
do?
Huh? Well,
What-
these are all, well, it's security plus staff members. You know, I've been through the Reagan Ranch a couple of times, which is just up the hill from us. And even in those days, there were 150 people in the party. Because you've got doctors, you've got Secret Service, you've got
Plus all the
staff,
press. Yeah.
you've got PR people, you've got the press. So it's a huge movement. I mean, logistically, it's very impressive.
It sounds very expensive.
Yeah. Well, just two F-16s and a tanker flying around 24/7 is probably well over $100,000 an hour.
Oh God.
Yeah. Anyway, it was quite a spectacle.
Hmm.
And major inconvenience.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, to say the least.
Danny, how's your hip healing going?
Oh, good, thanks. No, that's good. Thank you. But I should ask about yours. Yours was more recent.
Yeah, May 31st. I'm hiking for 2 hours. I'm swimming.
Oh,
I'm
really?
gardening. Yeah. What I'm not doing yet, I have because my balance is still a little off. I haven't gone back to West Coast swing and dancing and yoga. Because a lot of yoga's on the floor and it takes some doing to go up and down.
Right. No, I
Down
know.
is easy. It's getting up again that's hard.
No,
Right.
that's not true for me. But it's been kind of fun because I go to the hospital for checkups and the woman came in and she did a double take and she goes, "Oh, I was expecting someone else." She says, "You look good." And my surgeon told, "Oh, she's 81." And the guy said, "Oh, I thought you were like 65." And I go, "I'm just humiliated. I think I'm 55." So it's kind of fun. They go, "Oh, you're amazing." So it's kind of a fun little ego thing.
Sure.
Super. Um, uh, John, did we satisfy your itch for popular culture?
Oh, I just love to hear this stuff coming in and out all the time. It's just an ongoing interest. I mean, time travel. I mean, in the sense too that I mean, I'm always getting involved with music from different periods. I mean, right now I'm listening to things more from the early 30s, and I mean, just those things have always been so important to me in every way. You know, movies and of course that thing of the 50s. You know, with the Village and Bruin theaters. That's a big shock to me. What's the point of going back there now? I mean, what's that corner? Is that Weyburn and Broxton?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
my favorite corner in Westwood Village.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was the Orange Julius stand. There was
Stan's
Hamburger
Donut is gone too.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Stan died, but I mean, he was in his 80s and was still making donuts at 6 in the morning.
Mm.
You know what? I was speaking in the Westwood Village. Guys probably didn't do this, but girls would do a drive-by. And if you had a crush on a guy, you would drive by his house. And I remember driving by a guy whose name I don't know, who lived in veterans housing, and driving by his house near Westwood Village. Did boys ever do drive-bys?
The girls that they,
I don't think so.
gosh,
Gosh, I wish I knew it. I would have stand out in front of the house.
But I remember at some, maybe it was, oh yeah, 16, it must have been, cruising up and down Hollywood
Oh,
Boulevard,
yeah.
yes,
Sunset,
yes,
and there'd be two guys or three guys, and then two girls or three
Yeah.
girls. And-
flirting with girls in the next car. Yeah,
yeah.
and we
I
did that.
don't remember ever getting together with anybody.
No,
We just
no,
cruised.
and then there were drive-ins too. There was that we'd go to.
Yeah.
For eating?
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, and also
drive-in.
movies,
A
drive-in.
movie on Olympic and Bundy was the drive-in there.
Yes, yeah. And my sister met her first husband at a Stan's drive-in. I forgot which one.
That is fun. Huh.
I suppose when they closed ships, we should have been prepared for anything.
What's chips? I don't even know.
Oh yeah,
Ships.
ships. It was like what was it? A coffee shop,
It was
but
a fancier Denny's.
restaurant.
Yeah, it was a big coffee.
And they had the toasters on the
Oh yeah,
on the counter in the booths. You toasted your own bread.
That's right. Yeah.
Jolene Levin has
24
has the ship sign.
Yeah, ship shape.
Yes, somehow she got the sign and took it home.
Yeah.
The ships.
Somebody took it home? Really?
Yeah, Jolene Levin.
oh really?
Huh.
Really?
Bill's telling.
Was this when they closed it and it was sort of just lying
Right.
around?
Yeah.
Whoa.
You know, it's funny with mentioning the sign because we had from Beverly High when where I ended up graduating, we had our 60th reunion at a museum, the antique museum in the valley by the airport. You might have seen it, Bill, at the Van Nuys Airport. And they had all the old signs from a lot of the old places. And I know we gave them a sign from Bel Air Camera, and so they have that there, but it just had Pioneer Chicken but they didn't have a ship's sign, so if you want to get rid of that sign, they would take it, because that's a special sign.
Yeah.
I remember one year, John, you and I got drunk and high on weed, and about 3 or 4 in the morning, we went to Ships.
Oh,
yeah.
yes. I remember.
And
Yeah.
I ran into God, what was her name? Stephanie Waxman.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually had gone to high school with her at Hollywood High in the latter half of my high school years, and then she was I think a roommate of my first wife in Berkeley, and her father, when I was a rabbinical student, taught speech at the rabbinical school, speech and how to deliver a sermon, for example, basically. Anyway, a lot of all these interesting connections are interwoven.
A small world.
Yeah.
A small world.
Jenny Hertzfeld, whose name was John. What was Jenny's name?
Ginny Johnson? You know me, Ginny.
Johnson. She and I kind of reconnected, even though we both lived in Chico for a long time, but we've been walking every week together and swimming. So that's kind of fun to have the UNI connection with Jenny. And it's fun because we're total opposites politically, and we can I'm really proud that we can discuss in the interest of learning. So she tells me what Fox says, and I tell her what MSNBC says. because they're totally different.
They both lie.
They're very different.
Yeah. Joel, are you finished publishing your book?
Oh, I've got, I would say yes, but I mean, it's almost all the copy is prepared, but I've been trying to get usable high definition images of the scene of shots from movies, and for chapter 2 in particular, which is my study of To Be or Not to Be, the 1942 anti-Nazi satire. Um, I've been having, first I am willing to purchase the rights, which will cost me $1,500. But I can't get a high definition copy of those images. I'm going to be working on that this week, and that's true as well for another movie, 1920 movie called The Golem: How He Came into the World. There are 2 images that I want to use for that film, and just getting. I have a shot of a Eiffel Tower tourists around 1900 that I wanted to use at the intro to my 5th chapter, which is all about the French 1899 movie L'Affaire Dreyfus, the Dreyfus Affair. And in any case, it starts with an image of these French tourists. So I've written to the museum where where this image originated, and I'm still waiting to hear back from them. So I'm kind of at the mercy of these institutions that will either reply or not reply, and so I'm kind of hung up on getting the clearance for sending my book to production, which I really want to do.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Why are they hesitant? I mean, your book or anybody's book will make those images or those movies or anything more well known, and I don't understand why they wouldn't want, just even from the point of view of promotion.
yeah, well, I had, for example, Warner Brothers, which controls the rights to the RKO movie Crossfire, great 1947 movie, which my first chapter is partly about, and I wrote to them asking if I could, show 1 second of an image in that, and I got, after waiting for a few weeks, I got back finally a reply saying they were denying me the rights based on our policy, but they never explained what their policies were. And I wrote back saying, "What are your policies?"
Yeah.
Never got a reply. So it's again, I'm at the mercy of institutions about this, and the Lumière Museum, Institut Lumière in Lyon, France, which is where I first came across a reference to the movie that I'm writing about. Um, um, I only read yesterday an article about the Lumière brothers, and it turns out they were kind of hostile to movies, even though they invented the movie camera, or at least a version of the movie camera. But they felt that movies would never be a major industry, and how wrong they could be. Anyway, so the Institut Lumière, Lumière Institute, basically is taking its time replying. So again, my book is held up along the way. If I have to, and I really don't want to do this, but if I have to, I'll do without the images. I even written part of a preface to explain about the omission of the images, but we'll see what happens.
What would happen if you just took a screenshot of playing the video of the movie and just did it yourself?
Well, because my publisher needs 300 dots per inch in high definition
Yeah,
image.
yeah.
And so I have to get everything to conform to that specification.
But you can
Unless
manipulate an image and jack it up to 300 DPI.
to enhance it. Well, I don't know. I'll be having a meeting this week with a technician at Tufts and ask him if I can get some help creating these images for
Yeah.
publication.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, I've learned a tremendous amount in the course of this, and it's vitally important that I get these images from the movie To Be or Not to Be. The others, maybe I can do without, but I would, again, prefer not to.
Yeah,
So we'll see.
for me, I just do it. They're not going to track you down in a,
Well, what if you take a photo from a book?
Well,
Any movies, or can you do that? Or
well, if you can get something that would be 300 dots per inch, but and it has to be that, and I want to respect the legal rights, copyright all the way through on this, but who knows what one has to do to go, I don't know, to follow through on getting the rights. I'm very eager to pay an outfit called Shout Factory, which owns the rights to be or not to be. I want to pay them uh, their fee, but I don't want to buy rights that I can't use.
That's the thing to ask the tech, because there's some images you can jack up to the right GPI and some you can't.
Yeah, and I'm hoping to learn more about that in the coming week.
Because we do it all the time in my books
In your books, yeah.
Yeah, my graphics person jacks them up.
Huh.
But sometimes she can't.
Yeah. No, I know it's technologically possible because my images for chapter 3 have been sent to me in a high def quality, but the others I need to work on. But yeah, that's a good suggestion.
Yeah. What else is going on? So, Bill, have you been flying around or you were grounded because of Biden?
No, I moved the airplane 30 miles north because I had a golf game in San Diego last Friday. So I flew down Thursday, spent Thursday night with some friends, flew back Friday around the no-fly zone and didn't get intercepted by the F-16s. So now try and fly a little bit every week.
How
That's
fun.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Don't forget Chico. You have to come and fly
I
here.
know, and I need to do that. Hopefully before the summer's over.
We have the little tiny airport near my house where you can walk 10 minutes through there. But it's called Ranchero Airport. It's only little planes. Could you land there or you would need to land in the main airport?
No, I think last year I talked to the owner of the airport because it's a private airport and he gave me permission to land. So, I've landed at Chico Muni many times on my way up and back to Portland.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that seems like a nice little airport to land at.
Oh yeah, it's really fun. It's orchards all around it. So you fly in right among all the trees.
I love that.
Yeah.
Fun.
Henry, are you still there? Is Henry still there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still here.
How are you doing with your health? And I remember going with that stuff on your.
I'm getting a new matching right knee to my left one on September 12th. So I'll be able to walk a lot better.
That's good.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Good to hear that.
Will it be titanium or stainless steel?
Something else. I don't know what it is.
And Henry, did you run the 100 or the 220 or the 440?
No, not the 440. Not till I got to UCLA. I ran the 100, 220. However, they don't run yards anymore. We've been taken over by the metric system.
Oh,
Hmm.
but I remember you were very, very fast. And I didn't know, so you were on the track team at UCLA also?
Yeah, I moved up to the 440 at UCLA. And then I remember we did a 20-mile road race when I was at UCLA. We ran from the athletic field up Sunset all the way down to the beach, I think down San Vicente, down to the beach and down to the pier and then back.
Wow.
That was the longest run I've ever done.
That's very long.
Yeah, no, those were the good old days. Now you're right. I mean, seriously, when I did gymnastics, I could stand and do a backflip, a standing backflip. Now, if I have to get down on the ground to pick, I have to crawl to a chair to get up. I have to crawl on my hands and
I
knees.
think we all
Yeah.
do, except for Gaia.
it's a big adjustment, aging.
Yeah, getting down is easy. Getting back up
Yeah.
is
My father used to say, getting old is the shits.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Or
Yeah,
they
but
say
if
it's
we-
not for sissies.
Yeah.
no,
Be
God.
offended.
But we're all doing okay, which is good.
Yeah, but
Yes.
remember what Maurice Chevalier said, the alternative to it is not very attractive either.
Right. Well, there's the old joke about the wife standing on top of the stairs, saying, "Honey, come on upstairs, let's go make love." And he says, "I can do one or the other."
Oh, oh,
So come down the stairs.
Yeah.
Danny, are you still going out with the woman that you met on the dating app?
oh, yes. Yes, I am. Oh, yeah.
Oh, good.
Is that,
That
is that,
was,
I was
yeah,
curious if,
that was a fluke. That was a total fluke because I hadn't paid for years. And I don't know how my email ever got through to her. But anyway, yeah, no, so we're still seeing each other. Although I have to tell you, this sounds terrible.
But
Wait, no, you're recording this, so I can't say it.
okay, wait.
Well, all I'll say is that Linda Sobel, who we used to be boyfriend and girlfriend, that she looked very attractive today, Linda.
Well, maybe she's
Say that. She is
looking
attractive.
looking for you.
No, she's married. She's married. She's happily married.
Yes, she is.
was that Fran's dog I saw walking behind you?
No, that was Sherry's dog, another
Oh,
friend's
oh,
dog.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems I'm only attracted to women that have dogs. I like their dogs a lot.
Good. You get 2 for 1. You can't beat that.
Yes, that's right.
And Danny, just say a word about your mother. Speaking of aging, how old is she now?
104.5, and I'm telling you, her mind is better than my mind. Her mind is fine, but she has 24-hour help, and she can still walk a little bit with a walker, but she's mostly in a wheelchair. But it's amazing. She's happy and doing well, and my sister thinks she'll make it to 105.
What does she attribute her longevity to?
I don't know. I don't know, honest.
Usually people will say I take vitamins or I
Yeah,
drink
no,
rum or what, I don't know, whatever it is.
yeah, she doesn't have something she attributes it to that I'm aware of. But oh yeah, but she does take hundreds of vitamins. She does, speaking of vitamins, but supplements.
Does she go to synagogue? Is she religious?
No, 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 neither of, and I wasn't bar mitzvah, but both of them were kind of secular.
Hmm.
Well, if you want to know the truth, except you're recording this, so I don't like to. No, my parents were first generation, and they kind of were ambivalent about being Jewish. Most of their friends were Jewish, but they themselves were sort of, you know, um, and so it was just interesting to see their attitude, you know. Well, anyway, I don't know. Why did I bring that up even?
Because I
Oh,
asked you if she was religious. Because
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
having purpose is
Yeah.
one of the
No,
factors.
they weren't. And although they identified, like me, I identify, the culture, the history, and I'm a member of that group. But yeah, but organized religion in general, like when Maxine and I got married, we did it by a justice of the peace because we felt it would have been hypocritical and everything. In fact, you want to know the justice of the peace who married us in my father and mother's living room was a friend of my father's. And it was Judge Wapner, that
Oh,
guy who had his TV program.
Yeah.
right.
At
Yeah.
least it wasn't Judge Judy.
Yes. Right. It wasn't Judge Judy. No.
Yeah, Wapner was very active in the Jewish community.
What, Frank?
I think he was, very well known among the Jewish community.
Oh, yeah.
My parents were secular Jews, and I have with all my religious commitments, I have a kind of an attachment to my family's secular background. And I'm only just now learning all kinds of fascinating stuff about them. My sister, my niece, who had a birthday yesterday, was is hooked into Ancestry.com, and they have mailed her, which have then gotten to my sister and me, um, all kinds of photos and documents of our aunts and uncles and cousins, and all kinds of transitions in our family, birth certificates, death certificates, um, uh, just an amazing array of stuff that my sister Judy and I are reminiscing about. I have two sisters. Judy is in her mid 80s, and my oldest sister, 92, is just this past week moved to a facility for people with Alzheimer's.
Oh,
Yeah.
dear.
Both she and her husband. She is amazingly present to a phone conversation, but can't remember things that were said 5 minutes ago. It's a very interesting feature of growing old. And I have sort of a tinge of it in my spaciness at times, but I don't know. It's stuff I think about a lot.
What country of origin were your relatives?
Hungary, they're all Central European Hungarian Jews, part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire.
And when did they come to the US?
I think the late 1880s is the best I can identify it. And
Yeah, that's when my grandparents came here when they had the pogroms in Eastern Europe.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
My parents came much later.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah. Mine
And
came from Germany in
and
38.
Oh, from Germany, yeah.
Yeah.
oh, really, Frank?
Yeah. They were the last boat that could get out. Hitler wanted the Jews out. He,
Yeah,
they didn't want to kill the Jews yet. That was
not
later.
yet.
He just
Yeah.
wanted them out of Germany. So,
So
Yeah,
you
my German relatives about 1890. That was on my mother's side,
yeah.
on both sides.
And Bill's came in 1600. Bill
My-
Crouches came in.
On the
mine
Mayflower.
did.
Wait, yours did come in 1600s?
There were two Kimball brothers that came over from England, and I think it was the late 1600s,
Really?
or if not, it was the early 1700s.
Wow, that's
Really,
impressive.
really waspy.
Yeah.
Bill, do you know when your ancestry?
I think around 1850, 1860 from Germany.
From where?
Germany.
Germany?
Oh yeah, Crouch
Oh,
German. Yeah.
that explains your good friendship with Dave Kuhn.
It
Kuhn,
does?
well, Kuhn's a German name, I
Oh,
think.
it is, okay.
And but Bill, how is Dave? How is Dave doing?
I was going to give him a call this morning. I got busy doing something else. I haven't talked to him in a while, so I'm going to follow up.
Oh, please tell him hello from all of us.
Tell him
Okay.
we need him because it's not fair to you to have to be
Yes,
the
tell
MAGA
him that we need
spokesperson.
him.
It's not fair, and we admire your courage, but we want him to join in.
Yeah.
I will try
And
and
we're very
recruit him.
nice. We won't be judgmental. We're just curious.
Absolutely.
The
All
last
right.
he had Parkinson's and
Kidney transplant.
Yeah, but the kidney transplant was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was years ago, but more recently, yes, Parkinson's started about a year ago.
Yeah.
Sure.
And all because of Agent Orange, probably in Vietnam. He really paid for his service.
Right. And now the VA is paying for that. Yeah.
I'm
That's
Oh,
glad
the
they are.
VA,
finally,
the
that's
the
finally,
VA, the V.
Well,
He,
if you were in Vietnam and if you get prostate cancer, kidney, there's a lot of things that the VA won't fight anymore legally. They'll just say, even my brother-in-law was in and out in a C-141 as a pilot, and he got prostate cancer, and they put him on disability for $3,700 a month or something. The VA is really loosened up. So yeah, if you were even though you weren't exposed to Agent Orange, if you were in Vietnam, the VA assumes you were, and then they will subsidize, put you on
Good.
disability.
It's good because more recently they were denying payment to people who were near the burn pits.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So
Well,
have
we
they
have burn.
changed on that? Do you know? I think they have.
I don't know if that's changed or not, but we have burn pits in Vietnam. They were horrible. Every day you had to burn off the.
oh,
You were in Vietnam, Bill?
Pardon?
You were in
Yeah.
Vietnam?
Yeah, just for a year.
1 year.
Yeah.
But how long were you in the military altogether?
2.5 on active duty, 2.5 on active reserve.
But you were flying during that year?
No, I went through ROTC at UCLA and volunteered to fly because I already had a private license, but the military would only accept 20/20 and I had 20/25 vision. And when I came back from Vietnam, they said, "Oh, we see you have an interest in aviation. We'll now take 20/50 correctable."
Oh,
And
I'll
that was
say,
just, that was going to be another round trip to Vietnam, which I passed on. But the GI Bill provided for, I got a twin engine rating, an instrument rating, commercial rating, and 40 hours in helicopters before I burned out the GI Bill. So,
well, that's great.
yeah, so that worked out good.
Yeah, good. All right, my dears, it's so wonderful to see everybody and glad that we're all have all our marbles.
Yes.
Thank you, Gail.
Thank you, Gail.
thanks,
See you
Gail.
in
Thanks for
Yeah,
doing this. Gail.
thank you, Gail. Thank you.
Oh, I love it. It's fun to see us.
Yeah.
All right, see you.